One thing I noticed that solopreneurs really struggle with, I myself being a digital marketer for the last 15 years, being an entrepreneur for the last 20 years, and as an entrepreneur, also being a solopreneur, because worked I've only built my own brands, solo and random. I say this to say, entrepreneurs going forward, you got to think differently in 2025. We got a new president. He's pro business, which is a good thing. Their opportunity to expand, to grow, is out there. But I think a lot of solopreneurs wrestle with the issue of, is my family going to support me? Are my friends going to support me? And just being alone and dealing with all of that comes with that, because there's a lot that comes with being an entrepreneur and wanting your people to support you. But I think that's one of the things that I'm trying to build with this community, is that inclusiveness that people need, to bounce ideas off. Maybe you may be the only one in your circle that might be thinking like an entrepreneur, and everybody else might be thinking they're going to stay at that job, the old steel mill, or wherever they work, for the next 20, 30 years. And I know a lot of people like that. But my thing is, the way the economy is set up and the way the bills are set up with 2024, and everything is more expensive. Food is more expensive. Where you stay, your mortgage, all of these things are more expensive. And it just don't even make sense to me. Like, how can people not be entrepreneurs, or how can people not be at least a solopreneur going into 2025? Like, how can you not? Because when you get your check and you got to pay your rent or your mortgage, depending on how much you make, that's half, if not the whole thing for most people. So like, and then there's bills, and a lot of people carry a lot of debt, and then that's also tacked on. And then you have just everyday living expenses. Having that extra income from that side hustle is a big deal. So I'm speaking to the people that are wrestling with not having the proper support, not having that group that motivates you, that you can learn from, you can build from. This is your community. Stop looking outward and worried about that, because you have to build that mindset that everything you need is already in you. And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people struggle with that. I had a buddy of mine, he wants to be an artist, and I support his craft, but we can't never move forward with a project because he needs all these people in the studio. He needs all this support system in order to do your craft. If it's your craft, it's your craft. You don't need nobody else. All you need is God. But that's just my opinion. And I think that same thing applies to people that are building businesses in 2025. If you want to be successful, if you want to take it to another level, just being a digital marketer and working with projects that are $500, projects that are $1 million, and just seeing how money is spent, and then also seeing this up and coming entrepreneur spend a tenth of what these companies spend and get triple, if not double, the amount of attention and products sold as a brand that's just getting out there with a budget. There's so much I've seen, and I think people really need to understand that the barrier to entry with advertising, with growing online, building an organic presence is still there, even though it's slipping away and people are falling into the concept of, I'm going to be like this person, I'm going to be like that person. All that really matters is just you focusing on what you need to do, you having a strategic plan of what you need to do, and just trusting in God in that process. Because wanting to be a successful entrepreneur from a business that you create is a lot of solopreneurs' goals and great and dreams. But we all have to come to the reality of, there's not enough money. I don't necessarily live in the right town. I don't have the connections that I should have that'll take me to the next level. Trust me, I understand. Imagine, from my perspective, wanting to start a business when it wasn't cool to start businesses. Like, I was my only outlet that I knew. I didn't know many people that wanted to start businesses. Everybody in my college town just wanted to finish college, get a good job, the rich dad, poor dad way. And here I am like, yo, these student loans are outrageous. Why does everybody I know owe $100,000 in student loans? Why is that okay? I would prefer $100,000 business loan. But most people don't think like that. Most people think this is just the way it is and it's always going to be. These degrees aren't going to mean anything in the future. If the future is going to look like the Jetsons, if the guys that are making decisions in the future are wearing basketball shorts and t-shirts, and they're employing people that wear suits, I think we need to recalibrate this whole dynamic of what it means to be successful. And most people aren't comfortable with that. I had somebody actually tell me, they needed to go back to college to learn how to run the business. I'm like, wait, so you need to go get more debt in order to be successful, in order to learn how to run a business? Can't you just buy a course? Can't you just join a community like we got here and just network with other people that are going through the same thing and finding resources online, subscribing to channels and signing up for courses, buying courses and things like that? Can't you just do that and learn, what you don't know? It's a shame because I seen this documentary with this billionaire, and he was talking about Elon Musk. I seen this documentary with Elon Musk, and he was saying that a lot of folks are going to college for MBAs and they're getting out thinking that they're going to just be injected into some $1 million organization and they're going to run a company and all of this. These CEOs, these presidents, these founders, they don't want some dude that's fresh out of college working at their establishment. They want people that have been in the trenches, that understands how money works, that understands how e-commerce works, that understands how online business and technological breakthroughs are happening right now. And if you inject them into your business, you can become successful. And college can't give you that, unfortunately. You got to get out here in the trenches. And so being upset that friends aren't going to support you, being upset that you don't have enough money, you don't have enough resources, you have the internet. You can use that. But that's just my perspective. I'm just a guy that's been doing digital marketing for the last 15 years. And I think I see things differently. And I think you should reevaluate your process and think about how you become the best solopreneur in your city, in your industry, in your niche, within your brand, and take that jump to the next level. Everything you need is already inside you. That's in the Bible. May not be in those words, the concept is always there. Yours truly, Casey versus the Internet. I'm out.